Hey you guys, in today's video, I will be showing you guys exactly what a truck dispatcher do. Now, a truck dispatcher goes by many names, but nonetheless, they are all dispatchers. So you have truck dispatcher, freight dispatcher, just dispatcher. You have independent freight dispatcher, independent truck dispatcher. Pretty much, if it's a dispatcher, it's a dispatcher in the trucking industry. So, so when it comes to dispatchers, it's a good entry level position to get into the trucking industry. And not only that, but it is a way you can tap into the trucking industry and literally be your own boss. Like you literally won't have no one working, you have to work under, but you can set this up in a way that you have a team. You can set this up in a way where you can be yourself. You can set this company up in so many different directions and niches, and it is a really underserved opportunity that doesn't require a degree. And let's say if you're someone who have a felony or misdemeanor or anything that's hindering you, let's say you have another barrier. It can be the no GED or high school diploma. This is a good entry level position. Now, I don't want to encourage you guys not to seek higher education, but let's say you're in a situation right now where you can't. This is a great entry level position that you can do, and you can be your own boss. So if you got that entrepreneur spirit in you, then this is for you. You don't need a CDL, and it's low startup cost, which means you can literally start dispatching for like little bit of money. So it is a $1 billion industry, and let's just go over with exactly what freight dispatchers do. So this is a general idea of what a dispatcher role is. So in this particular scenario, right here, this is the dispatcher, this is the broker, this is the shipper, and this is the driver. So the shipper, let me just give you an example. The shipper is someone like Walmart. The broker is exactly that. They are either the most hated or the most loved person in the trucking industry world. The dispatcher works on behalf of the carrier. Now, the carrier can be the an individual person, it can be a company, or it can be owner operator. So pretty much a carrier can be broken down into those three different categories. And I'm saying that to say that if you are a dispatcher and you're dispatching for a company, then that company can have multiple drivers. So if you good and you know how to dispatch these trucks pretty good, you can sign up like two or three within one company, because it's not uncommon for one company to have more than one dispatcher, because if once you start growing that fleet, you need more. For example, I have a trucking company right now that I started in 2023, and for my fleet, I have me myself dispatching and another person. So that's just an example. And my fleet isn't that big, but that is just an example. Um, so let's do a breakdown on how it works. So remember I said the shipper. So in this scenario, the shipper is going to be Walmart. So Walmart has all of this freight like fruit that it needs moved. The broker comes in plotting and scheming on Walmart and saying, Walmart, I see you have all this fruit. My brokerage company have several carriers who can transport all that fruit for you. Walmart then says, "Oh, broker, you came just in time. The carrier that I was using before and their brokers bailed on me." So now broker comes in with Walmart and they make a mutual agreement. So now that broker posts the load on what is called a load board. So that load board has a list of all the loads that are available, and the dispatcher sees the load on the load board. So now that the dispatcher sees the load on the load board, she relays the information to her driver, carrier, or company. So let's break it down even more. So Walmart comes in, has the fruit, broker posts the load, dispatcher sees the load, and now she says, "Hey, carrier, company, driver, owner, operator, company, there is a load right now in Arizona that is paying $5,000. And the commodity, which is what the truck is hauling, is fruit." Driver now says, $5,000 in Arizona? No way. I am in New Mexico right now. Try to get me 6,000. Carrier. Now, that's what the carrier says to the dispatcher. Now, dispatcher says to the carrier, "No problem." Dispatcher calls broker and says, "Hey, I have a driver who is available to pick up this load, blah, blah, blah. However, he is blah, blah miles away and would like 6,000. Broker then says, "No, I'm not accepting 6." Dispatcher now negotiate better terms. "Well, what about 5,500?" And the dispatcher now tells that to the broker. Now the broker says no. So now this, and I'm saying no because these brokers love to pay a hardball. But so anyway, so now the dispatcher says, "Well, let me meet you in the middle. What about 5,200?" Broker says, I can do 5,200. Of course, broker can do 5,200 because he's cheap. So now you have 5,200. Now the dispatcher says, "Whoa, give me one quick second. Let me reach out to the carrier and see if this is okay." Carrier now says to the dispatcher now says to the carrier, "Hey, I was able to get this load for you for 5,200. Do you want to accept it?" Carrier either says, "Dang, you couldn't get more money," which is typical carrier talk. Dispatcher now says, "Well, he wanted to do just 5,000, but I got him up to 200." So pretty much a dispatcher negotiates the rates. Now, granted, those scenarios are definitely not real. Those were examples. As a dispatcher, you need to know what you're doing. And not only that, you need to know what you're doing. And not only that, you need to know what you're doing. Yes, I said it 3 times. You know why? Because you working for this carrier. So you have to keep that in mind. You want to do everything that is in the carrier's best interest. So that means when that carrier wants high paying loads, you need to negotiate, and not only that, you need to communicate back and forth. Don't just accept something because you feel like it was great. Always relay it back to the carrier because there's a lot of scenarios that can go back in play. So now the carrier got the load and he goes into transit to La La Land to Arizona, picking and dropping the load up. So I hope I explained to you guys on what exactly a dispatcher is. I will be doing a series of videos going more in depth of day to day with the dispatchers and day to day what to do, day to day operations, how to set your company up. I also have a lot of courses online. I have 3 different courses online that you can do. with 3 different price points. And I also offer one-on-one support for any of you guys who are interested in even starting your own trucking company. I help you to set it up properly, BOC3, UCR, all of your IRP, all of your paperwork. I help you. It's been a consultant, but the way I help you is I simply guide you. I simply show you the steps. I simply tell you, no, you need to do this. You don't need to do this. If you do this, because I still want you guys to be your own boss. So in Dispatcher, I also do all the courses, and I also let you kind of help show you how to break down your business, show you avenues that you can do, and give you real life pointers. I have a bunch of ebooks out too, you guys, that explains dispatching, explains how to get carriers and clients, because that's one of the hardest things is how to get clients. But I have ebooks out breaking it down how I get clients, because I dispatch and I also have a few people under me who dispatch, and we develop a dispatch team. I break down the strategy that we use and how we do it. So a little bit about dispatchers versus brokers. So the truck dispatcher, they pretty much just coordinate all the freight with the carrier, and they're the ones who communicate with the brokers on a day-to-day. Depends on how you set up your dispatch company. You either will be signing the rate cons on behalf of your carrier, or your carrier will be signing them, but you'll be the person in between. So again, you can set up your business multiple different ways, but that is just a few. And I break it down in all my courses on how to set your business up to where you actually can get the most money. So freight brokers, so they work as the middleman between the shippers and the carriers. They find the freights for the shippers. Remember the Walmart scenario. And so the dispatcher just pretty much find the loads, do the paperwork, and you can set your dispatching company up by either a flat fee or a percentage. But pretty much, I just wanted to go over on this video what it is, and just introduce something that is underserved in this community. This can get people out of poverty. This can get people who has been struggling with barriers. If you got a computer, you can do it. It's just so many different ways you can set this up. So be sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and especially comment on what you guys would like to see next. Thank you.